What's up, Dragon Champions family? I got another collab with my buddy XMG here, and we're going to have some fun doing some little bit of, you could say, theory crafting, but we're going to teach you guys how to split each faction into two teams, mainly for Battlegrounds. Eventually, you're going to have to do this. It's going to be very important when you get to the end game. With Guild Wars happening soon, it's going to be even more important than ever to have as many options as you can and to be more resourceful, or I don't know what the word is, but you want to be able to squeeze all you can out of your roster. So, Sarah, you want to say what's up?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on. This is going to be hella fun tonight.
Always, brother. You know it's always a good time when we get together. So,
yes, sir.
It's going to be kind of a long video, and it always is when me and Zary get together. So let's just jump into it really right off. So we're going to only do the order today because there's so much to talk about. And then maybe next week or whenever we get back together, we will do the clans. So first of all, we're going to start off with the humans, I think we decided to do.
Yep. Yeah, humans sounds like a good place to start.
All right, so Zary, who do you think we should be putting on first team?
Well, you got two leaders in the humans, right? We have Darian, and then we have Soleus. So let's start with the Soleus build.
Okay.
I think you want to build that to be the strongest team, in my opinion. And then Darian's just kind of like your backup fodder team, you know?
Yeah, before we get started, I think we also want to let you know that I think overall it'd be better to have like someone like Nidiel in this team, but we're just going to strictly go over how to separate each faction. You can change it here and there, you know, and some teams are better, but we're just strictly going to teach you how to split your factions up. So we're going to start out with the Soleus team. So who do you think it would be the second person we'd use, Zary?
Garrett.
And then Eric Shieldbreaker.
Yep.
Because they go great together. So do you think Little Baddie still?
I would, because if you don't use Little Baddie, that would leave us with two tanks on a Darian-led team. So I think I would use Little Baddie in there. Okay,
and this is where you kind of can do whatever you want, whatever as a player. But who would you suggest would be the fifth best?
Well, I like the combination of Freezard and Cruel together. So I would kind of hold those off for a Darian team. But, I mean, if you used either one, I wouldn't blame you whatsoever. I might put in Naya as my fifth.
Okay.
If I had her up and running.
And that's what I was kind of thinking, but I haven't done enough testing with her to really know where she goes at all in the game. Have you done very much?
Not as much as I should, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I got the feel for her. Essentially, putting her under a Soleus lead is going to be way more beneficial because he can give her the cheat death, and she's so squishy that cheat death's going to be huge.
Good point, man. Great point. I love that move by him too. So yeah, that's about what we're thinking for the first team, and then of course you pretty much only have enough for. But anyway, we'll get to that. But your second team is pretty much, depending on what faction you have, is just pretty much the next best leader mixed with all the crappier tunes that you don't want in your first one, you know. But it's still important to know. It's still important to know. So we'll start off with Darian. And so what are we thinking? Snorri, Selena. Who do we have left? And then you said Cruel and Freezard. Yeah.
And I think it would be important because Darian you're kind of putting squishier characters there. You know, and you got the heal from Selena, but Darian's also giving him armor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
and you've said it before. If you are in the end game, you're just kind of bored taking people up right at this point. So you said at Gear 12, Darian's pretty good though.
Yeah, Gear 12, his stats are pretty monstrous.
So yeah, you take him to Gear 12, and then you have some pretty decent people. You have some damage going out. You have someone who can go around taunt and Cruel, and she can, if she stays alive long enough, sometimes she won't, she can clone somebody. So, and then you have your healer and her. She's not the best, but, you know, for a second team, this isn't going to be a bad team. But, you know...
No, not at all.
They're all going to have to be at least Gear 11 to be really effective, because a lot of them are squishier, you know, and so...
Yeah, I constantly talk about Darian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this. Taking him from Gear 11, his health is 26,320. His shield is 26,615, right, at Gear 11. Gear 12, his health, 40,320. Shield 37,064.
That's really good. That's really
Yeah.
good. And all you need him to be is just a meat shield. You know what I mean? Where he just absorbing damage. Because these
you don't want him to.
these two will do a decent amount of damage. You know, Freezard and Snorri. You got a lot of AoEs going out, and if you mod them right, they can put some damage out. He's decreasing turn meter with AoEs and everything. So that's not a bad second team, honestly. And if I saw that like gear 11, gear 12 in the back, it probably would stop people from full clearing. But you got to put your resources into it.
I think that the Darien team is probably a better defensive team than offensive team.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And right now,
you got the heals from Selena, you got the two kind of mages in there, and then you got Snorri with the AoE and Darien everything up. I think that'd be a good defensive team.
I agree. And what I'm more intrigued with in Battlegrounds right now is having some good like second teams in the back that surprise people. And I've been stopping people actually quite a bit. I haven't been full cleared in a while. And now I have a lot more pigs and dwarves and everything. It's actually helping me out a lot. I'm having more teams I can use than what it was before. Like if you messed up and used one like really good team on a team you couldn't beat that had a better counter, but you couldn't use that counter, like it screws up your whole Battlegrounds. Like you have to have a perfect run with every team. But now it's getting better that the dwarves and the pigs, I can kind of mess around with them. And it's saving some like weaker characters that I can use on weaker teams, and it's just kind of it's trickling down, but it's starting to get more fun for me. A lot of people are saying that it's not as fun, but with more characters they've been adding like crazy lately, it's actually making Battlegrounds a lot more fun. So
I just need somebody to attack me. I've gone 4 in a row and nobody's even attacked me, so I just fight one fight. Just I always do one just to see if they're going to attack or not. They don't attack me, so.
And that's what people have been doing to me, but I always wait till the last minute to attack, whether I'm streaming or not. And so some people all my opponents are doing that. They'll attack once, and then they'll wait to see what I do. And but I think it's coming to my advantage, because after a while they're like, oh, he's not going to attack, and then I come in like 2 hours later or before it ends and attack him, and I've been winning by that way. So, all right, so that's the humans. What do you want to do next?
You want to do elves?
Elves, yep. Okay, so elves. So, just right from the get-go, we all know who the leader's going to be. So, let's do Thelaine. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think, man? I'm not a very good expert with elves, so I'm interested to see what you think about this.
Well, Thelaine's leadership, right? It's all about crit chance.
Yep.
You know, increases crit chance of allied elves by 30, recovers 20% of turn meter upon landing a critical hit. So, you're looking for crit chance increase. You're looking for characters you want to stack critical chance on. So my thing is you leave off the healers, and I would strictly probably go like Thelaine, Titania, Wonder Lua. I would put Delman on there because he gives the crit damage increase, and then shockingly enough, if I was just strictly going elves, I would probably go Sharp.
That's what I was thinking
as
too.
my 5th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and he has that good little third move that puts some buffs out, and Delman's
he gives a crit chance up to the whole team.
Yeah, and Delman's kind of doing the similar thing, and yeah, you could be putting out a lot of crit on that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think that's the way to go, and I think this team could be an offensive or defensive team because of Titania.
Yeah, my elves have been stopping on defense the last couple matches, so. And I usually use these guys just to shred the demons. It's really interesting. I didn't realize how fast they just can shred a team. So, would you say they're probably the best?
Right, they're dangerous.
Would you say they're the best offensive team in the game?
Not a team. They have the best offensive champion in the game.
Right. Yep.
I think the best offensive team in the game is the Dwarves, even without a leader.
Yeah, I like using it with Soleus. That's pretty fun to do.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you got Boardwind, Zappy, and Tubald. Tubald can crit for like 100k. So.
Yeah, I like Tobald, man. I've been using him a lot. Because most of my people are gear 11, just not 7-star. And I've been using them a lot in Battlegrounds. So it's pretty fun. Okay, so let's do our second team. So obviously we would probably want Nightiel as lead, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's the only other leader they got.
Yep, and I like her leadership. So yeah, pretty much what's left behind is Phalia, Kellerian, Illyria, and
Singeal.
the man himself, Singeal.
Yeah. But you know what? That plays well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the accuracy of all elves are increased by 20%. They have a 20% chance for each living mage or healer in the party to remove one buff from the target. So we're taking in 2 healers, 1 mage. And actually, she's a mage too, so you would have 2 mages, 2 healers on that team.
Yeah, and removing buffs. We've talked about this in the leadership video the other day, but removing buffs is a big deal when you don't have very many dispellers at all in the game. So her leadership.
And you got some AoEs on that team too. So
yeah, and Phalia is a beast.
Kelrin's got one. Yeah.
Phalia is a beast if you mod her right. And
yeah.
And Kellerian's not a bad tank. I mean, he's not great, but for being an elf tank, I mean, you know,
build him fast and just have him throw his little blade there where you can get the armor decrease.
Yeah, that's
more
helpful.
You got a blind on a basic with Singeal. It's not a bad little squad. I don't know if I'd want to put it on defense though.
No,
because you want to play it manually.
No, not at all. But like we said, Guild Wars comes along. You don't know what you're going to be having to do. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know. I don't know how many people you have to set down for defense or anything like that. So
yeah,
I mean, you really gonna have to scrape by with this stuff if you want to win. As much as you can. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna open up theory crafting to random crazy teams. So
yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
Me too.
And I get to go in the battlefield with you, man.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be awesome.
By the way, I joined with XMG the other day on his guild, and we got a T9 done for the first time. So
yep,
it's a good week so far. Good week so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on. What team do you want to do next?
Let's go to the Pandas.
Let's go Pandas.
And this one's pretty easy, to be honest.
My worst team is the Pandas right now.
Well, because it takes so much to get them up and running.
When I get Uncle Ho come in, I'll be a lot happier. I'm working on him soon. So
Uncle Ho probably has one of the best passive abilities in the whole game.
I mean, if I can take Ren out of it, Uncle Ho, is going to exponentially boost my team because Ren is just worthless to me right now.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, what are you thinking? A Kinley lead for the best team?
I would put a Kinley lead. Well,
okay.
I don't know if there really is a best team. Right. I think Kinley's the defensive team.
Right. Okay. So, not necessarily the best team, but this is just how the best way to split this team. So.
Yep.
All right. What else do you think?
I'm putting on Shaolin on the Kinley team.
Okay.
I'm putting in Rin the Unseen, Patriarchy, and Master Duo. That would be my defensive team.
Okay. And why would that be? Because I'm not very good with Pandas, so.
Okay. Well, what I'm thinking here, my thought process is, you have Kinley. His leadership gives everybody health, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he gives 30% maximum health. They recover health on a critical hit, and for each buff applied. So those are your 2 big caveats, right? You want them to crit. You want to make sure they're putting on buffs, and the health is going to make the squishier characters stay alive. So if you start with Shaolin's notoriously squishy. So that extra health is going to be huge, right?
Yep.
He attacks 7 random enemies, so you kind of want some crit chance and speed on him.
True. Yep.
He has Shaolin and 1 ally recover 10% of their turn meter, and then they gain regeneration on his triple serving, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. If you took it up to tier 7, it's 4 allies, 45% turn meter. They gain regeneration. So there's all those buffs you're spreading out.
Damn. Yeah, that's
then
pretty good.
He also gives himself a crit chance increase and self control.
Okay.
So that's him. And then on his basic, he doesn't really do much on his basic, but Shaolin recovers health. So he's kind of self-healing himself, which plays into the team. Then if you went over to Rin the Unseen, right? her passive ability, she has a 40% chance to gain invisible for 1 turn. Each living panda, or for each living panda defender and panda warrior, it increases their chance to go invisible by 20%. So, you have, she's starting out with 40. Shaolin is a warrior, so now she's up to 60. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Master Duo, who's a warrior, so now she's up to 80. And then you have Kin Lee, which is the defender. So now you're up to 100%. So she's always going to be stealth.
That's cool, man. That's pretty cool. I've never thought about this team. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Actually.
So, and then what happens is she gives herself counterattack and a damage increase for 2 turns. So there's buffs applied. So you're healing. Then she has her Fan of Blades where if she kills somebody, but it's an AoE. And then she has her attacks 3 times. So you just kind of build her for crit. Just crit chance her through the roof. She's not going to really be able to get hit a lot because she's constantly going to be invisible. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So so then you go to Patriarch Chi. And Patriarch Chi, obviously he dispels, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can overshield you. But he also gives allies from the Order get a tenacity and self-control. So he's putting out mass buffs. So everybody plays into that exceptionally well. Because then Master Duo has his 3rd ability where he gains crit chance increase, crit damage increase, and counterattack. He's recovering his own health there, but then he's also going to heal himself based off of Kin Lee's lead.
Dude, that's huge, man. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, that might be a pretty damn good defensive team. And I never once thought about any of that. Ever.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting. And, you know, the only way I would consider a Patriarch Chi lead is if they had their own healer, and they don't.
Yeah.
But everybody on that team fits that mold of Kin Lee, and I think that could hang some people up because you'd go in and be like, well, I'm going to take out Rin the Unseen. Well, all of a sudden she's invisible. Then Kin Lee's got his taunt up. Patriarch Chi's healing him through the roof. You know?
Yeah, and I've been getting hit hard by the Shaolin in that tournament. I don't know if
Shaolin can hit.
I'm like, why am I getting decimated by Shaolin? I've always been hard on him, but he can do some damage if you do him right. So
yeah. I mean, because so Kin Lee's also going to be healing himself every time he goes, but then when he taunts, he gets taunt and armor increase, heals himself. Then he recovers 25% of his health, heals himself.
Yeah, I can see this being a pretty good team.
Yeah, you just put some tenacity on him, and you put a whole bunch of health runes, and just let him go to town.
So have you messed with this team much in, like, your actual account?
No, they're on the bottom for me. I mean, I got it. I got to get Shaolin up. If I get Shaolin up, I'll have that team ready to roll.
Well, you have just, like, motivated me to work on my panda some more. Because, that's pretty cool, man. That's really cool, actually.
And if you want to reap the benefits of somebody, Kin Lee's health at gear 11 is 28,789, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take him up to gear 12, 40,389. And then his shield is 32,280 at gear 11. You take him up to gear 12, 40,889.
That's crazy, man. I've been thinking about just taking all my tanks to gear 12 first, and then working on some factions.
They seem to gain the most.
That's
for sure.
That's huge, man.
When I was breaking everything down, they definitely seem to gain the most.
That is huge. And sometime I want to do like a gear 12 video with you, because that'd be pretty cool.
No, I want to too. I think that'd be hella fun.
Let's get over to the second one here.
Okay.
So who are you thinking for a lead? Patriarch?
Lake lead.
Lake lead? Okay.
Yeah, because you're gonna have Patriarch on Kin Lee. Now, the only reason you're using Lake is because he has 1,000 penetration. So this is gonna crank your damage up. This is your offensive team.
Gotcha.
This team is insane.
Okay.
So we have Lake, but what I want to do is I'm gonna talk to you about Uncle Ho for a minute. Why Uncle Ho is so vital to this team.
Okay.
passive ability, like I said, he probably has one of the best passive abilities in the game. 60% chance to inflict daze or burning on 3 enemies for 2 turns after using an ability. So all he's got to do is attack, and he has a 60% chance to put on burn or daze.
Cool.
On 3 people for 2 turns.
Wow, that's cool.
Right. Yeah, so keep that in mind, because this whole team is built around the burn mechanic, right?
Yep.
Now, here on his Festive Fireworks, his 3rd ability, he gives himself he puts on the accuracy decrease to the enemy. He gives all allies crit damage, which is amazing because it's a nuke team. Then he applies crit chance to all allied pandas. And then he restores 1 turn to each of Hilda's abilities. So if you're strictly just taunting and using her basic, it's always going to hit her taunt. So you can constantly keep her taunt up, right?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. Then he has his 2nd ability. He does 420 physical damage, and it can't be dodged. You can't dodge. Plus, you're getting the 1,000 penetration from Lake's lead.
Okay. Yeah.
Then he gives Hilda shield equal to 25% of the damage dealt.
Okay.
And then his basic.
That is crazy.
Yep. If somebody is dazed or burning, he decreases turn meter by 20%. So so that
you'll be burning like crazy. Yeah, and you'll be burning, so that'll happen a lot.
Yep. And then you move over to Foul. Okay. Foul's passive ability was reworked perfectly. She increases physical damage by 30%, but then an additional 5% for each living panda. So that's another 25%. She's getting 55% more physical damage. She deals 10% more damage against burning enemies. Critical hits inflict burning for 1 turn if there is a living panda mage in the party, which you have in Lake.
Okay.
So she, on her crits, no matter what skill you're using, she can inflict that burn, right?
Right.
So, I mean, the rest of it, she's just increasing turn meter, decreasing their turn meter, stuff like that. But really, you just build her for as much crit chance as you can possibly get on her.
Okay. All right. I like that, man. I like that.
Now you just move over to, let's just say Hilda. Hilda's the tank of this team. The only reason you have her there is because she's a panda and she's a tank. Yeah. So all you do is simply just you make her as tanky as you possibly can. Health runes, tenacity runes, and you just put her out there, no speed, get the taunt up with her, and let her just sit there. That's it.
Yep, I've noticed that playing against her. She's kind of like the Arno of pandas.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to talk about Ember in this team, right? So Ember gains Inner Fire, right? That's her passive ability for 3 turns at the end of her turn, 20% chance to gain 1 additional stack for each living ally panda. For any burning removed from the enemy or remained on defeat, she gets another Inner Flame. Okay? Mm-hmm. So she's stacking this Inner Flame. But she also has her Spirit of Zainayal, or however you say it, where she does 280 magic damage to all enemies, inflicts burning for 2 turns on all enemies. Then she removes 9 Inner Fire, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have 9 built up, she's going to remove them. And she deals an extra 25% for each one removed.
Woo! For each one.
Yep. So then you have your Meteor, which can stun a target. It removes 3 Inner Fires and does 50% more damage. And removes buff for each one removed. So you can remove up to 3 buffs. Yep. So you can get around the taunt.
Yep, that's a pretty good
move.
And
then burning on her basic. Okay? But then this ties into Lake. Because Lake, he gives himself and Ember a damage increase. Right? They recover health. But he has this refreshing stream. Okay? Deals 200% magic damage to all enemies. That doesn't sound good though, right? But then he removes all burning, which then gives Ember all of that Inner Flame because it's all been removed. So if he removes cool. 10 stacks of burning, she's getting 10 stacks of Inner Flame.
Okay.
And then he deals an extra 40% magic damage and removes 1 buff for each burning stack removed from that enemy.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, man.
So it's kind of like a mini mass dispel, but you got to it's hard to get it to work as a mass dispel. So he's taking, say you got 8 or 9 burns out all over the place. He's taking a 200% magic damage AoE. Say there's 8 of them. He is now making it a 520% magic damage AoE. And then he's giving all of that inner flame to Ember. So then she can just turn around and nuke everybody.
That's badass. See, man, I didn't really understand the pandas, but then I've just learned a lot just right there with the pandas. That's really interesting. And
yeah, and I made a couple of videos like showcasing the pandas and how they work.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, and it is it's interesting. Sometimes it's very hard to set up because if you get like ability block, that cripples this team.
Yeah.
Because you're so reliant on, like, if Foul gets ability blocked, it doesn't matter. All she's got to do is crit to still put up that burning. But say you got 8 or 9 stacks of burning up, but late got critical hit, or he got the ability block. Now you can't use that refreshing stream. By the time it comes around again, you could be down to 4 things of burning. So you're not doing that massive damage. So
yeah,
it can cripple you for sure. But that is a nuking team 100%.
And I would say, like, overall, they're one of the worst factions in the game. But
they are. Mm-hmm.
But it's still interesting to know this because maybe I can get more out of them, in the future.
I mean, as an offensive team, and you're playing them, they're okay. But that's why, like, the defensive side of the pandas, when you think about it, you can't mess up that kit. You can't mess up them putting on buffs. You can't mess up them, attacking and getting critical hits.
Right.
The Lake team needs to be manually played because they'll jump all over the place. They'll use your refreshing stream when you only have 1 stack of burning up, and you know what I mean? So playing it manually is a huge difference. So that's why I think you couldn't put this team on defense.
That's cool, man. I learned a lot just now with all that, so that's really cool.
Yeah. All
right, anything else you want to say about him?
No, that's it, man. I rambled on. Sorry.
No, dude, that's the best one so far. Like, that's really cool. Like I said, you just taught me a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people will get use out of that one because I honestly haven't spent enough time even thinking about them, looking into them, and you can tell, like, a lot how their kits intertwine are actually pretty neat, and I never realized that. I didn't realize what combo to use, you know what I'm saying? I just put Kinley in the front and all my best pandas behind him, and And
no, I mean, they did a really good job with the reworks. It's just they need to change Lake's lead to incorporate burn, and they got to get Hilda some sort of synergy in that team, and then it would be a really, really good team.
I still feel like we're missing, like, one specific panda. I don't know what, but, like, I just feel like there's one panda they could add that could change things up a lot for the pandas.
If they put in a true healing panda, Patriarch Cheese lead goes to the forefront, and then it takes those 2 teams and blows them up. Because Cheese lead, all allied healing abilities apply a shield equal to 45% of the health healed. All attacks by allies from the order restore their shield by 20% of the magic down. So you could build a burn team behind, like, if that healer did burn, let's say had a move that applied burn, you could run a Chi lead, and then you're getting 20% off of 520 AoE. Be massive.
Yeah. Well,
it would be massive.
Maybe we'll get it someday. They're putting out a lot of stuff, so a lot of character wise, so you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. So that is our first part of this video. We did the first part. We'll be doing the next part in a couple days, and we will get that out to you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I always love getting together with Zeri. It's always a good time. Hopefully you guys found this informational, and it's definitely something I wanted to dive deep into already. So I'm glad we finally got to do it. XMG family, love you guys. Dragon Champions family, I love you guys. I appreciate the support so much. Discord's blowing up nowadays with me. Things are getting better. The channel's always growing, and I appreciate everything you guys do for me. I love having the conversations. I'm making more and more friends every single day, and I love it. And so with that being said, I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.